Hi guys, and welcome to another Elementor video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We put together this little free e-commerce store with the Elementor theme here. And if you want to check out how we did this, we're using the free Elementor theme, free Elementor plugin, and the free 2020 theme I believe we were using with this. I'll put the playlist down below. Well, we've got a little hover effect for you today. And it's a little cart. You see the little red icon to the right there? When you hover over it, it's going to pop up the cart page. And you can scroll down, go to checkout. When you let it go, it's going to go back to where it was. Really easy to do, nice little effect. Got to do a bit of coding to do this today, but don't let that put you off. Any CSS I write, I'll put below the video, and you're welcome to use it, modify it how you wish. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and hit the Edit with Elementor button here. And once we're in there, there's our little cart over there. I'm going to just get on it and I'm going to go ahead and delete this and we'll start from scratch. Okay, well, let's go down. First thing we want to do is create a little icon module. It doesn't matter really where we put it because we're going to fix position it in the end here. And like I say, we're using the free today, so I'm going to roll down past the pro, and another free module is icon box right here, which is I'm going to use purely because it's got the icon and text for us. So I'm going to drag this over here. There it is right there. And of course, don't want a star. You can choose your own icon. I want a cart, as it's a sort of cart. Takes you to the cart page. Obviously you can do this with whatever you want. I'm just doing the cart page as an example today with the e-commerce store that we've got here. Put the heading, whatever you want to say. Now we don't want any content in there. We're going to use a shortcode which will bring up the WooCommerce cart page. And if you don't know anything about WooCommerce shortcodes, there's a great little site here for info. And I'll put this link below the video also. I've gone to the page shortcodes there. Here's WooCommerce cart right there. So I'm going to copy that shortcode and pop it into the page. It's probably not going to appear on the back end here. Quite often shortcodes don't, but on the front end they'll work out just fine. Alright, well there it is, but of course we don't want it there. We want it sort of we just want to see the icon and we want to have all the content disappeared off somewhere. So let's take care of that. The first thing I want to do, I'm going to put the icon on the left, seeing as we're going to have it rolling in from the left. And I'm going to go to Style. Make it whatever color you want. I guess I'll make mine the same color as our buttons there. Yours, again, styling is entirely up to you. Grab that color. There we go. Make sure it's got a hashtag in front of it, hex code. Okay, well we've got our little cart icon and we've got our title there. So we can let go of the icon bit. Content wise, I'll make that writing a dark color of some sort. There we go, that's great. Alright, now comes the fun part. This is where we've got to use a bit of CSS. Now to do this we need to give it a CSS ID or a CSS class. We're going to use a class today, so let's go over to Advanced and we'll give it a unique name that's going to mean something to you. You remember what it is, you know, so I'm going to call just mine mycrt or mycrt, I suppose. That's good for mycrt. So it's now got a name, this module, and we can target it with some CSS. So let's update our page and save it as it is. Now with the pro version of Elementor, you've got a custom CSS box here, but as I'm doing this with the free version, we can't use that today. So what we need to do is go to our theme customizer. So go to your dashboard, go down to Appearance and Customize. That'll bring you to this page. At the bottom of this page, you'll find Additional CSS. This is where we're going to write our custom code today. And if I refresh, that should disappear because this is left over from last time. Let me just refresh this so that our old cart's not there anymore. There we go, and it's gone. Let's go back into our additional CSS. Right, let's scroll down to the bottom and find our thing. We don't really need to be looking at it, but it's a good idea. As you can see, I've got some products in my cart already, and there they are. So here's that module that we created right there, and we know we gave it that CSS class of mycrt. So it's a class. All classes have to have a dot or a period in front of them. And I'll give it a title. It's a great idea to give things titles when you're writing CSS, especially if you write a lot of it. It helps you find things a lot easier later on. And it's also a courtesy if anybody comes in the site behind you and has to edit stuff. And so it's // / and in the middle of the two stars, anything you write there will not be read as code. So I'm going to say floating cart. Okay, so like I say, it's a class. All classes have to have a dot or a period in front of them, and it was called mycart, or mycrt was the name. We're going to open and close some curly brackets, and within those brackets we're going to write our code. First thing I want to do is make it fixed position, and when I do this it'll disappear up to the top left hand side. So I'm going to say position :fixed. As you can see, it's disappeared. We can no longer see it. That's fine. Now, if I roll up, you probably still won't see it. It's sort of tucked up on the top right hand side there, or top left hand side by default, I should say. So we need to tell it where it needs to be. So I want it about 200 pixels down because I don't want it over our header. So I'm going to give it about 200 pixels from the top. So I'm going to say top 200 pixels. There it is right there, as you can see. And we'll have to give it a background in a minute. We'll do that in a minute. Let's get our CSS positioning. As you see, it's right there. It's come down from 200%. Now I want to push it all the way over here so that we only actually see the cart itself. I don't want to see what's actually in there until we hover over it. So hit a semicolon. Whenever you're writing code, you want to put a semicolon on the end before you write the next line. If you fail to do that, it won't read the next line of code. Okay, so I want it all the way over to the right. Let's say right 0 semicolon. That's where it's going to end up when we want to see it all. So that's great. And this is a regular, but we'll change all this in a minute. Now, just so we see the cart itself, I want to give it a fixed width. So let's try giving it a width of 50 or 60 pixels. I'll say width, colon, try 50 pixels. That's not done it, so we may need to force it. I don't like to do this, but sometimes you have to. And to force it, we'll use the important, which is !important. There we go, that's pushed it all the way over to the right here. It's pushed it a little bit too far, it's cutting off a little bit of it there. Let's add 10 pixels to that. So we'll make it 60. Yeah, that's okay, works for me. Obviously you fix yours exactly how you want to fix it. Semicolon. That's great, well it's getting there. I'm not going to give it a height attribute because it's kind of hiding everything that we want to there. So that's good. Now, when I hover over it, I want to push it over this way. So let's just publish this, because I'm going to go in and make sure it's got a background color so we can see it when it comes over. So I'm going to go back into our edit here, go back into the module itself. Here we go. I'm going to go into advanced and then background. Now normal, don't need any background whatsoever. On hover, I want to give it a white background. So we'll be able to see through it. I know we're looking at the old version here, but that's fine. I'm just putting a background in on hover so that when we hover over it and push it over, we can see everything on top of everything else there. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now transition duration here is the time it takes once we hover over it to go where we tell it to go, which is going to be all over here. Now we can set it here, but I prefer to actually do that within the module itself, within this custom CSS. So I'm going to update this. And we'll go back to our customizer. I'm going to refresh this again, as we've changed everything. So let's go back into our CSS. Okay, now, as you can see, when I hover over, that white color is appearing. Great. I only want it when I'm hovering over it, which is great. Okay, well, let's start setting our hover state now. And to do that, we need to put in our class name again, period, mycrt. Right on the end of the T with no gap, we need to put a colon. And then right after the colon with no space again, we need to write the word hover. So we've got mycrt, no space, colon, no space, hover. If you put a space in there, this is not going to work. And again, we need to open and close some curly brackets and put a little bit of code in there. Okay, what do we want it to do? Well, I want it to become full width again when we hover over it. So let's do that first. We'll say width 100%. And let's just check it. I may need to, yeah, I'm going to have to do the old important again with that, just to force it. There we go. And as you can see, that's sort of happening instantly. I want to slow that down quite a lot. And that was that transition duration I was telling you about just now. And we put that in the regular state, not the hover state. So I can drop down here, transition. That's actually prompted us. And colon. And I'm going to make mine take a second, 1s. You can do 0.5s or 0.25, however long you want, or 1.5. Entirely up to you. Now when we do it, there we go. That's a lot more gradual. That's a lot more like I want there. And as you can see, that background's also fading in more gradually. And that works fine. But it won't let me go down to the bottom of it to actually go to checkout. And if I had more modules, we wouldn't see, or if I had more things in there, we wouldn't see these coupon and update carts. We just have a list. So we need to be able to scroll down. So let's give it a fixed height. We'll say 100% of the available width. And we want them to be able to scroll. So we're going to say overflow, scroll. There we go. Now you can see it's got a little bar at the side, and we can scroll down, get to our totals, and proceed to checkout and everything like that. So I think we're pretty much there. So let's publish this. Just one thing I'd like to do on that module is just update it slightly, give it a little bit more room on the top. I'm not worried about the left. Perhaps give it 20 pixels left and 20 pixels top, just to bring that little car icon down and in just a little bit, so it's got a bit more breathing room. So we're all published here. Let's go back to our page. We'll go back into the module, and it's still here. And I want to go to padding. I want to uncheck this because I just want to do the top and the left. I'm going to put 20 in on the top and 20 in on the left also. Now what you can also do, this is only going to show on the page that we got it on. If you want to save it to your library, just save this little section right here. Save as template. Enter the template name. FL cart, whatever it is, as long as it makes sense to you. And then you can load that into any page that you want this on. I'll go to another page and show you how to do that in a minute. So let's update. And let's take a look. Little eyeball icon there. It's working, but because I've added that padding, it's kind of just a little bit further in. So let's just go back to our custom CSS here. And we can change that right to say, let's add 20 pixels, and that should fix it, because that's the amount of padding we gave it on the left hand side. Publish that. Go back to our page and refresh. There we go, that's better. And there you have it. There's a cart. They can update, proceed to checkout if they want to, or they can just let it go. So let's go to a different page and just put one on a different page. Let's go to the all-in-one computers page. Edit with Elementor. As you can see, there's no cart up there. Go down. Here, hit the little file icon here to add template from library. Go to My Templates. There's a FL cart right there. Let's insert. Don't have to import document settings. That'll overwrite any that's there. Really don't want to do that. If you're in doubt whenever you do this, always hit no. So there we are, and you can see it's put it on the page. Let's just update this page and take a look. There we go, we now got this cart on this page as well, and of course you can do that for any page you want. So there you go guys, that's how to add a little cart icon that reveals your cart to your Elementor site. Really easy to do. Like I say, we've had to do a bit of custom CSS for today, but I'll put this down below the video and you're welcome to use it however you wish. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.